Hey guys, it's iTalkApple, and today I'll be reviewing two iPhone cases from Speck, and they are the Speck Pixel Skin HD and the Speck Candy Shell for the iPhone 4. I'm going to start off with the Pixel Skin HD. It is a TPU case, and so TPU is kind of like a silicone, but more plasticky than silicone, I guess, like a combination of the two. And just going over the case, at the top you've got an opening for the headphone jack. Your sleep wake button is closed. On the side you have your opening for the vibrate or silent switch, and then buttons for the up and down for volume. You've got an opening for the speaker, you have an opening for the actual dock connector and for the microphone. The back of the case is where it actually gets its name, the Speck Pixel Skin HD, because there's a bunch of squares. It's a pixel design, and they're a lot smaller than the original Pixel Skin case. Of course, you've got the camera cut out, and it's got a black border around it to make sure that the case does not interfere with the flash for when you're taking photos. Installation is really easy. Slip the phone in by, I guess, either buttons first or the top first. Snap the rest of the corners on. It is stretchy like a silicone case, but it's not super stretchy. It won't get bent out of shape, which is what I really like about this material. And also it feels sturdier than silicone does. Like I said earlier, the sleep wake button is covered with this TPU material, and when you press it, it's very responsive. It's not hard to press at all. And same with the volume up and down buttons. They're very responsive. As far as the appearance or design of the case, I really like the pixel back. I love how the space in between the pixels actually shines when it catches the light. It just adds a really nice effect to the phone. Also, it's a very thin case. It's not too thin. It's not so thin that it won't provide drop protection, but it's thin enough that it doesn't add much bulk at all. When you're holding the phone in the case, it doesn't feel much different from when you're holding the phone without the case. And I've actually dropped this case with the phone in it before. I was standing in a parking lot, I was holding it, and it just, I don't know what happened, I just dropped the phone, and I dropped it on its back. So the case, after the drop, since it was on black pavement, it did get kind of dirty. I haven't cleaned it, just to show you guys what it looks like, kind of. So the sides of the case have kind of a darker tone than they used to because of the drop, but it protected the phone well. There's no damage to the phone, no visible damage, and the only damage to the case would have to be that some parts look a little dirty. One thing that I do have to say about the material is that it's not grippy, so it might slide around in your hand a little. It feels really smooth, and my friend, one of them, she actually said like it seems like it's really slippery. I wouldn't go that far, but it isn't a grippy texture like a silicone case. But because of that, it's not a lint catcher at all. I actually keep this in my backpack with like other stuff, and it doesn't get dirty, and there's no dust that gets caught in the pixels or in between the phone and the case. Also, I love the way the case frames the phone, and overall, it's a great case. I definitely recommend it. I use this case probably the most out of the 3 iPhone 4 cases that I own, just because of the way it looks, the way it feels, and the protection it gives. It's just a great case overall. So check it out on Speck's website. Comes in 4 colors, I believe, and I'll have a link in the description to that. The next case that we'll be looking at is the Speck Candy Shell for the iPhone 4, and I have it with me in a gray and purple color. Comes in a variety of colors though, so you've got lots of options. The candy shell is made out of, well, it's a hybrid case, so it's a plastic and a rubbery silicone material, but it's mainly plastic on the back, and then it's lined with the silicone. You've got a cutout for the headphone jack. Your sleep wake button is covered. Vibrate or mute or silent switch is accessible. It's slightly deeper than it is in like Speck's Pixel Skin HD, but it's still accessible. It's not hard to get to. you've got your up and down buttons covered with the silicone material, and on the bottom of the case you've got openings. I do like that it's a hybrid case. I like how you get the protection and reinforcement of plastic, but then you've got the kind of cushiony silicone. And the inside of the case, when the phone's not in it, you can see that it's lined with the rubbery silicone. It'll provide good shock protection. First thing I'm going to go over is installation. It's very simple to get the phone into the case. You just put it in button side first and then snap the remaining corners in. Every now and then when I put it in the case, the sleep wake button gets pressed and it'll turn the screen on, but that's not a big deal at all. Once the phone's in the case, it feels sturdy. It doesn't provide too much bulk. It's still fairly small, but it's definitely noticeable when you have the case on. It feels very boxy in the hand, and I personally don't really like the boxy feel. It's not really the case's fault because the iPhone 4 is more of an industrial boxy phone, but it definitely feels a lot boxier with the case compared to without the case. The plastic material that's used is very shiny, and it's definitely a fingerprint magnet. When you touch the case, you'll see fingerprints all over. It almost feels kind of slippery in the hand, or it makes your hand feel like it's sweaty because it's so like shiny and smooth and slippery, I guess. The camera cutout is the same type of cutout that the Speck Pixel Skin HD has. It's pill shaped with the black border, so it doesn't interfere with the flash or the camera at all. The buttons, I would say, take a little getting used to pressing. I had to wait, I'd say, 2 to 3 days before they were really easy to press. Now I have no issue. You press it and you don't have to press hard at all, and the sleep wake button works great, and so do the volume buttons. Also, I like how the volume buttons, you can actually hear the clicking when you press them. As far as protection, this phone is very protective because of the plastic material that's used and with the silicone. Also, it's got a lip around the phone, so you can put it down on a table and your screen won't be touching the table. So overall, I like the way that the case looks, and I'm not a huge fan of the way it feels in my hand just because of the boxiness and the slippery plastic, but I really like the way it looks and it feels sturdy when you're holding it. As far as removing the case, that takes a little getting used to if you've never owned a Pixel Skin. All you have to do is put it against a hard surface, or like your stomach or something, and you press the back of the case and you wait for the corners to pop out, so then you can just slide the rest of the phone out of the case. It gets easier over time as you break the case in, but the case never gets really misshapen or anything, so that's good. It's just that if you want a case that you want to be able to take off and put on often, I wouldn't recommend this because it is kind of annoying to take it off all the time. So yeah, overall, I do like this case and I'm glad that I have it. I would recommend it to somebody who wants a hybrid case. It's a great hybrid case. It's a good plastic case also. I like how it's kind of a fun looking case with the different colors, and I do like the way it looks on the phone. So that's it for this review of the Speck Pixel Skin HD and the Speck Candy Shell for the iPhone 4. Like I said earlier, I'll have links to them in the description. And if you have a Twitter, please feel free to follow me, twitter.com/italkapple. I update fairly often, and since I don't make videos too much during the school year, it's a good idea to follow me to see when I'm going to make a video or what's going on with me. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope this review helped you.